Life is full of unique moments, like the first time you hold your newborn baby in your arms. You have many important decisions to make throughout their life, and one to make before they are even born: whether to store their umbilical cord blood and cord tissue. Future Health Biobank, helping you to protect your family's future health. To find out more, please contact us.
Future Health Biobank, proud sponsors of How To. Prepare for your baby's arrival.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of How To Prepare for Your Baby's Arrival. In today's programme we'll be looking at how to choose the right car seat, buggy or stroller and cot mattress, all of which should be at the top of your shopping list. Your baby's arrival is an exciting time, not just for parents and siblings, but also for grandparents, other extended family and of course friends. There are so many people who want to meet your new baby and not all of them may be able to visit you at home. There's no reason why your new baby should prevent you from travelling, and we'll be hearing some top tips from our experts later on in today's programme. We met with Sue, our guest midwife, who tells us more about the healthcare needs of pregnant mums and newborn babies. What are the healthcare needs of a pregnant woman?
The healthcare needs of a pregnant woman are to access antenatal care as soon as possible. She can self-refer or she can go through her GP to be referred. She needs blood tests for screening, such as iron levels, her group status, and to see whether she has any anomalies in her blood. She needs an early ultrasound for dating, and the dating ultrasound is used when or if she requires or wants further blood testing to see whether her baby has Down syndrome or not. She has another ultrasound at 21 weeks or thereabouts to see how the growth of the baby is and whether that is adequate. She has regular checkups in her antenatal period with both her GP and her midwife, roughly every 4 weeks, right up until about 36 weeks when we see them fortnightly afterwards. A normal pregnancy is not just up to 40 weeks, it goes to 42 weeks. So a lot of people expect her, having given them a date of baby to be due on, that baby will actually come on that day, but only 5% of the babies actually get it right and actually are born on the day that we've estimated.
Car safety for your little one is paramount. We recently met with Recaro, a leading manufacturer of baby and infant car seats, who tells us what features to look for when choosing a model to best suit your needs and how to ensure it's securely fitted.
I'm Sue Kosmovich. I'm the Managing Director of Recaro Child Safety here in the UK. Recaro Child Safety is part of the Recaro group of companies, and Recaro has a long history. It's been around for more than 100 years. During that time, they've gained a wealth of experience of making seats for vehicles and also for aircraft. Recaro Child Safety has drawn on that experience and has made a range of child safety seats for all ages so that children can be transported safely in the car. All child seats have to meet European legislation, but Recaro's safety standards exceed what's required by law. I'm here with my colleague Claire, and we're going to show you how to fit the Recaro Young Profi Plus infant carrier into your car. We're going to show you using Isofix points, which is the simplest way to fit the seat in the car, but also using the 3-point seat belt if your car doesn't have Isofix.
So the first thing that you need to check for are the Isofix fixings in the back of the car. This tells you that your car seat will accept an Isofix base. To fit an ISOFIX base, you first of all take the fixings and connect. And then adjust the load leg down to the floor. The only way you can't use a load leg is when you have a storage basket underneath and the foot of the car that has a plastic lid. Now the base is ready to accept the seat. So you use the green indicators for seat placement. Pop the seat into place. The base will accept the seat. And then that seat's now clicked into position.
It's the parent's responsibility to ensure that the child's seat is first fitted correctly into the car, and secondly, the child is fitted correctly into the child's seat. Investigations and surveys always come up with the same figures, that 60 to 70% of child seats are incorrectly fitted in cars. Therefore, it's really important to take the time to make sure the car seat is fitted correctly in the car.
Leading an active life is important for both you and your child. Campbell Gower tells us more about Phil and Ted's buggies and strollers.
The philosophy of Phil and Ted's is quite unique. We're a New Zealand company, which is unusual in the world of juvenile. And we have a basic philosophy that we want parents to use our products to learn how to adapt and survive their life now that it's with child. So they don't become a prisoner of nursery jail, yeah, and get trapped with a baby. It's all about maintaining the lifestyle they always had. When considering a new design for a stroller, of course we focus on the big three considerations: safety, usability, and child comfort. We've been designing and engineering strollers for 15 years now, and we're still passionate about honing the designs, honing the engineering, making them as manufacturable as possible so that we can deliver the best possible stroller for a consumer. So to do this well, innovation is extremely important. We've developed a number of firsts in the industry. For example, we're the first stroller to go inline, enabling you to take 1 or 2 children. We were the first ones to put a swivel wheel on a 3-wheeler. You know, want to have a buggy that goes around corners. We think a lot about curb weight. How easy is it to get up and down curbs, drive over rough cobblestones? And a lot of that involves engineering and design considerations. In addition, it's got to look terrific, so the parent feels great when they use it. That ultra adaptability approach is really born in the New Zealand lifestyle, where we want to enjoy the outdoors and they're very accessible for us. So we were really one of the first to introduce large air tyres and make strollers all-terrain, because we accept that even a modern city is not all smooth pavements, it's not all mall. So you want to go to the park, you want to go over cobblestones, you want to go up and down curbs, and for that you need an all-terrain capability, even though you might not be actually going too far off-road. So most parents, when they're setting up for baby, worry about how many pounds they're going to spend. Right? We'd like to think about how many pounds you want to invest, because you need to get an investment which is going to return you constantly with your changing family's needs and your changing lifestyle. So you need a product that's going to be durable. Of course it's going to be safe, it's going to be comfortable, and it's going to adapt in some way for that child's changing needs, because they grow and their weight changes and their needs change. So you need products which are going to have the longevity to deliver for your family. It's a little bit like changing the family car. You have changing needs now that you have a baby, and you're now going to transport that precious cargo with all their equipment with them. So you've got to think about what kind of car you need to do that well, that best suits your lifestyle.
We recently spoke to Jan van der Velde regarding cot mattresses, as all parents will want to establish a good sleep routine for their baby.
Kid for Kids, we believe very strongly that a child spends half its newborn life on a cot mattress, and in fact typically there'll be 10 to 18 hours on a mattress in the first sort of couple of years. And at that time it's very important to them because they're recovering from their sort of physical exercise, they're growing their immune system, their brain, often memory learning. It's all happening during the sleeping hours. Now, there's a big difference between adult mattresses and children's mattresses. An adult mattress is concerned with aesthetics and comfort, whereas a child's mattress is concerned primarily with safety and hygiene. We feel very strongly about that. We feel that we have pioneered in a number of areas to increase safety and hygiene for children's mattresses, and we're quite passionate about it. Because at that age, children, they're growing fast. There's a lot of physical play where they're learning through physical play. The brain's developing, their immune system's developing, and there's an awful lot of processing that happens when they are sleeping. And that's why children, when they're active, they're very active, but when they need their sleep, they need their sleep. One of the first things is to make sure that the mattress is cleanable. And you see typically now a mattress for a child will have a removable cover, and that cover will be washed typically at 60 degrees centigrade. That will kill off many of the bacteria and dust mites. Now, dust mites, for instance, their excretia causes asthma in children and adults, and so it's very important for a child that we keep that to a minimum because it's an allergy that will build up over time. And so, whereas the child, gets to sort of 4 or 5, suddenly it's developing asthma, and it could be the root of that could be when it was sleeping on a cot mattress that had an infestation of dust mites, as opposed to an adult mattress where typically you can't wash the cover. Also say that some parents, they get very excited about the cot and the aesthetics of the cot. The baby's not really interested in that. What it's interested in is a good night's sleep. And a baby can't speak for itself, so you have to make sure that you don't go down the route of having a wonderful cot that costs a few £100 and then get the free mattress that comes with it. Because those free mattresses, they're very cheap. Yes, they'll last for a few months, but they're not really ideally suited for the longevity of what they're designed for sort of 3 or 4 years. So therefore, it's much better to buy a cot, but then buy a mattress separately.
What sort of sleeping pattern will the baby have?
Sleeping pattern at first will be extremely erratic. The baby is programmed to feed and to sleep and to poo and nothing else. And so initially it may seem that the baby is constantly feeding and constantly pooing and just napping, but that's what it will do. By about 6 to 8 weeks, hopefully the baby will have got into a better routine and will then be looking at sleeping at least 12 hours a night, so hopefully missing one of the night feeds.
Join us after the break to hear some more top tips from our experts.
Kit for Kids Baby are leading specialists in cot mattress technology and are at the forefront of the science of safer sleeping. Their cot mattresses have been developed in response to the latest clinical research and advice. Their main focus to minimise consumer concerns and maximise child safety and comfort. The Kit for Kids Baby brand is synonymous with innovation, uncompromising quality and above all, safety. Visit the website to find a stockist near you.
Life is full of unique moments, like the first time you hold your newborn baby in your arms. You have many important decisions to make throughout their life, and one to make before they are even born: whether to store their umbilical cord blood and cord tissue. Future Health Biobank, helping you to protect your family's future health. To find out more, please contact us.
Becoming a parent is brilliant! No doubt you'll be thinking about all the important stuff like, is it safe? Will it fit in my car? Will it go everywhere? Can I push it? And am I going to look really stink pushing it? Luckily for you, parents of the world, there's Phil and Ted's. We specialise in making buggies that are fantastic to push, go everywhere, and don't make you look and feel stink. Like our world famous inline buggies that adapt to take 2 kids as your family grows. So you don't have to put up with stuff like this. Phil and Ted's, helping you adapt and survive since 1998.
Recaro understands safe seating. With safety, design, comfort and quality as top priorities, Recaro Child Safety provides superior protection from birth to age 12. Whether you need a travel system, infant carrier or car seat for older children, we have a seat for every stage. We know your child will love their Recaro. They're so easy to fit, you'll love it too. Think seats, think safety. Trust Recaro. Visit our website.
Welcome Welcome back to part 2. We now rejoin Sue to find out more about caring for your baby. What are the healthcare needs of newborn babies?
More or less that the parents nurture it, feed it, wash it, change it, etc, etc. In hospital they do a hearing screen just after delivery. In London, most hospitals offer the BCG vaccination to the baby because tuberculosis is actually on the rise. We also do a 7-day heel prick test to test for genetic conditions that the babies might not necessarily be seen to have but actually do have. And that's done nationwide. We do a baby check on the babies when they are at least 6 hours old, and that tests for everything on the baby. That looks at its autonomic nervous system, its heart, its lungs, its hips, its general appearance, and whether or not it's feeding well, whether it's had past urine, and whether or not it's had a meconium nappy. Meconium is the first poo, which comes out like thick green tar, and once the breast milk is actually getting through the baby's gut, the meconium will change to become a normal baby stool. It's essential that it gets these baby checks and that the mothers report any worries or concerns that they might have to the health professionals and or to the midwives, because it's not just midwives that look after them during the postnatal period.
It's really important to consider that when you have a newborn, the comfort of your child whilst travelling. The Recaro Young Profi Plus has double-sided impact protection here, has washable seat covers, and underneath it has a really comfortable padding. You have a 5-point harness with harness covers. Children are safest rearward facing, and sometimes a mum can be too keen to take the child to the next stage seat before the child is ready.
It's an extremely long life seat, and the backrest grows. It has 5 different positions as your child grows, enabling you to keep the child in the seat rearward facing until either the crown of the head reaches the top of the seat or they reach the maximum weight category for the seat, 13 kilos.
Place the car seat onto the seat with the handle in the upright position with nothing foreign underneath the seat. Take the 3-point belt with the buckle directly across the seat with no twists in the seat belt. And no folds. Once you have the buckle away, you then have another free hand to be able to help you adjust your seat. Take your tension and then take your belt around the back of the seat and through the guide on the back shell. Once your seat's in position, you can then adjust your tension through to ensure that you have the tightest fit in your car. The car seat is rearward facing, so that in the event of an accident, any force through impact is pushed directly through the shell of the seat, all the way through and down.
It's a good idea to practice fitting the car seat into the car before baby is born, rather than the day you leave hospital with your new precious cargo to go to the car and think, "Ooh, how do I fit this?" So take time before the baby's born to fit the seat into the car. It's something you're going to be doing quite regularly, so you need to be able to do it quickly, easily. Recaro seats are made for ease of use.
What should parents consider when transporting their baby around town?
On the first journey home from hospital, it's the law to have a car seat to transport the baby home in the car. I'm amazed at the number of times that midwives have been asked to show the parents how to put the car seat in the car, but we're unable to do this by law. So I advise the mothers and fathers to play with the car seat first off before the baby comes, once they've got the car seat, so that they're fully aware of how it fixes.
Once your baby's grown out of the infant carrier, then there's two options to consider. Your child can go forward facing in the car or rearward facing. Recaro has seats to cover both of those options. Here we have the Young Expert Plus, which is a forward facing option that also fits onto the same Isofix base as our Recaro Young Profi Plus infant carrier. Safety and comfort features to look for when buying the next stage seat are excellent side impact protection, excellent padding.
There's also an insert for a younger child, which can also be removed, as well as harness covers on the 5-point harness. All of the covers again can be removed and washed in the washing machine at 30 degrees.
It can be stressful worrying about the safety of your child, but Recaro provides seats that will protect and care for your child in the car. What a parent needs to do is make sure they're fitted properly. We'll do the rest.
Price is always a consideration, and in the midst of a downturn, buying cheap can seem sensible. Our advice would simply be, think about safety certification. Think about the functionality you're going to need. Cheap can also mean huge and heavy. Think about the practicality of using the stroller up and down stairs, always having to look for a lift in a shopping centre, going on and off trains and buses. I think the major pitfall when buying a stroller is not having a clear understanding exactly what your needs are. The statistics are pretty clear. Most families buy 4 strollers. That's because they don't really know what their needs are. So yep, look at the fashion item, but think about functionality and lifestyle. It's very important, and it'll save you money. Remember to plan ahead. 72% of Western families have 2 children, 3 or less years apart. So you've got to think about your family's changing needs over time and get a stroller to suit. Once you've understood your needs, the next thing you have to do is your homework. You have to do a test drive. So try it in the store, try it outside, see if it fits in the car. Drive it around with the weight of an actual child in it. Even borrow a stroller from a friend. We think a lot and we test a lot to try and eliminate potential hazards, especially for curious mouths and wandering fingers. We worry about stability. We think about the performance and durability of the braking systems. We think about the harness design in terms of its performance to keep a child constrained, but also its comfort and usability. Is it easy to use? Does it actually work to keep the child harnessed in place? When we think about innovation, we also think about how the product's going to be used during the day. So for example, we have a stroller board which can detach from the stroller. At the park, the child can drive around on that and have fun there. When they're coming home and they're tired, they can ride on the kickboard and the parent doesn't have to carry the child or the kickboard on the way home. It's very human to be bamboozled by all the options available. There's a million choices for you. Not all of them are going to be good for your needs. Think about your lifestyle. What are you actually going to do? What are you planning to do? Are you going to have a second child? Think about whether you want a stroller that takes 2 or 1 child.
If you find that your baby is not sleeping well, perhaps waking up in the night, there could be a number of reasons for that. Now, one is that if you go for a foam mattress, you don't get the flow of air that you do with the spring mattress, because the spring mattress will allow the air to flow around the spring lattice, and therefore it keeps the child cooler. And as we all know ourselves, that you get a much better night's sleep if you're not too hot. And so that can often be a problem if the child's overheating, and that can happen because of the mattress. It can happen obviously if it's got too many blankets or clothes on as well. The other thing is that if a child has an accident, if it's sick in the night or if it soils the mattress, it's very important that you can change that mattress or take off the outer cover, put it in the wash and still be able to use the mattress itself. Now, if a child is overheating, there are things that can be done about that, and we at Kit for Kids have pioneered a number of fabrics which are heat regulating, and one of these uses Outlast fabric. Outlast fabric was designed by NASA to keep the sort of spacemen or astronauts rather in their suits to keep them at an even temperature. And what it uses is materials which will warm you up when you're cold and cool you down when you're hot. Excellent for the child. Very difficult to know whether they are too hot or too cold, and therefore a fabric like that sort of helps the whole process of sleeping. In preparing for your child's arrival, the first thing I'd say is start early enough. Don't leave it too late, otherwise you'll be rushing, and that's not good for the child. I would say that it's important to buy your cot first, and then buy your cot mattress. And the reason for that is you need to know the size of the cot to buy the right cot mattress, and there are rules and regulations. There really shouldn't be more than a 3 centimetre gap between the cot and the mattress so that you avoid a foot trap for the child. I think the thing to remember is that when you have your child, particularly your first child, your life changes forever, and therefore prepare the home, prepare it to be child safe. So loose leads, small parts, plug sockets, door traps, stairs, think about them all. Think about them all in plenty of time. Make sure you've got your nursery room decorated in time, you've got all your products bought in time, and then you can enjoy the birth of the child. There's nothing worse than running around at the last minute and being in panic because you haven't thought about things early enough.
What can parents expect with a newborn?
Parents can expect chaos, and it's a real steep learning curve. They've gone overnight from having what they would consider a normal life to a life that has been turned upside down, but it's still enjoyable. And if they can see the fun in it and the love in it, then that's great.
We hope you've enjoyed watching today's episode of How to Prepare for Your Baby's Arrival. Join us again this time next week to find out more. See you then.